Welcome back. This is part 3 of the 87cc engine disassembly. My next step is to remove the valve cover, the cylinder head. My first step is to remove the spark plug wire. You can just twist and turn. You can just hang that out of the way. And I will use my 3/8 extension, my adapter, and my 10mm socket. I'll also use my ratchet. Make sure your ratchet is in the loosening position. And I'm going to remove the 4 bolts that hold the valve cover onto the cylinder head. Be sure to keep the bolt with the wire protector separate and put that bolt in the same spot when you go to put it back together. Valve cover should wiggle off. Be careful not to damage the gasket. And when I'm done, I'm going to thread this bolt right back in the cylinder head along with the other 3. You do not need to tighten these bolts up. Just thread them back into the cylinder head. My next step is to remove the 4 bolts that retain the cylinder head and the cylinder block, or the cylinder to the engine block. There's a bolt here, 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 and here. Using my 12mm socket, ratchet, and extension, I need to loosen these bolts up. And remove them. Set your bolts off to the side. You may need your needle nose pliers to reach in and grab the bolt. This is an overhead valve engine. We have our valves located above the cylinder. We have our valve spring. Our valve is going down inside of the spring. And we have our intake and we have our exhaust valve. We have our rocker arms. Notice they're labeled left and right. We have our push rods located underneath the rocker arm that go down into the cylinder block. After we have our bolts removed, we should be able to remove the cylinder head. And on the underside, we have our intake valve, which is on the carburetor side. And we have our exhaust valve, which is located on the exhaust side. There will also be a head gasket. The head gasket creates a sealing surface between the cylinder head and the cylinder. Pay attention to the arrow on the piston. The arrow on the piston should point towards the push rods. You want to remove your push rods. They are the same length. We're going to set them off to the side. On this particular engine, the cylinder is cast as one unit with the cylinder block. So we cannot go any further than this. In order to remove the piston, we will have to take off the crankcase cover. And that will be your next video to watch.